What's up, Cool Nation? It's me, Coolness17, the coolest of the cool. That's me, and today it's time for the final part of my Meta Runner Pengview. Now, it's the final one, and we are pretty close to finishing this SMG4 sub-series of Pengview. And once that's finished, well...
What the hell is that? Well, it ain't Barney the purple dinosaur!
yeah. But for now, let's look at the first 5 episodes of Meta Runner. The last 5 episodes of Meta Runner. So episode 6 starts off with a gaming tournament. And it's one where Tari and Evelyn will be working together. Then we get to see Evelyn being a brat for a minute. But Team MD5 are there at the tournament. And so they're gonna pull off their plan. So basically, Team MD5 has to put on these suits and go past this robot guy who is inspecting the guys in the suits that are going around. However, there's a way to get around all that. You see, this thing is broken, and as a result, the entire tournament, all the light just goes off, all the electricity goes off, and so does that robot. But basically, the plan is to basically swap the cartridge that will be used for the tournament with another cartridge, and that cartridge will be connecting to Sarah's phone and getting all the data of Lux and his company. Meanwhile, we see Theo, who is still in this glitchy mess of a game. And so Belle is helping Theo get past it. So it turns out that the game that Tara and Evelyn are playing is Hidden Heroes. And it's a hack and slash game. So Tara and Evelyn just go in the game. But Tari is just morphed into the game, but is now just a robot. Meanwhile, Evelyn is just using an avatar. So Tari and Evelyn are working together to get rid of all these robots. But that won't last for long. We'll get to that later. But Team MD5 are going in disguise in the game as robots. So, they're going in disguise and are helping Tari. But in one scene, Tari and Evelyn, the robots, are just cornered inside one house. And Evelyn is pretty angry because she spent a lot of time of her life trying to get to the place she is. So now Evelyn is working against Tari now. So meanwhile, Tari is just going and killing some robots. However, she has to be really careful about it, as Evelyn is still out there. We cut back to Theo and Belle, who are trying to play the glitch. Belle is trying to get past the glitchy mess that is Ultra Jump Mania Glitch Edition. However, she's just failing every single time, so she decides to just take a break. But then, Theo decides to just do everything by himself. So meanwhile, we are cutting back to Tari, who is continuing to kick some bots. Get it? I said bot instead of butt. But she runs into Evelyn, and so Tari decides to fight her. And then Moss's robot is just kicked out of the tournament. But Tari keeps at it and continues to do it while the data from the phone is being transferred onto the cartridge. And Sarah's really close to finishing it. But then the entire place goes foggy, and so it's harder for Tari and MD5's robot avatars to see where they're going. But all the data is successfully put into the cartridge, and so an emergency evacuation is ordered. She's able to make that go on the screens. And then Evelyn just gets trapped in a room. Good. But, oh no, Masa gets captured by Lux, and Belle is also in the place where Masa is. And then we cut to another flashback with Belle and the Lucinia, which happened before Lucinia disappeared. So Tari and MD5 partially had gotten the cartridge. However, Masa was taken away, and Theo hasn't been saved yet. So there's more. On the next episode, we cut to Lux, who is trying to find Sarah, and then they find her. So Sarah's forced to fork out the cartridge, and so she does. Except not really. That one is fake, and it does not have any of the data in it. No, but really, the developers of the console, they should make their security better than that, I mean, companies like Nintendo put technical protection measures on it, and with those, if you make changes to a cartridge, then it just becomes unplayable. But apparently, the developers of this game console did not consider that. But that was all a diversion, as Tari goes back into the Ultra Jump Mania game in order to rescue Theo, who is still in a glitchy nightmare. So Tari and Theo keep on going on it, and what the hell is that? What the frick is that? The thing just took away the flagpole, which is needed to end the stage. But what is that? It turns out that is actually something that Evelyn is playing as in order to eliminate Tari and Theo. But it doesn't seem out of place in this glitchy nightmare, But things just got a whole lot harder for Tari and Theo, as Evelyn has infinite lives. That cheater! Tari and Theo are continuing to fight this thing. However, Tari finds something out, and it's that they need to just get to the flagpole in order to actually finish this. Don't have to actually defeat the thing, though. It's still going to be quite a task. After a while, Tari and Theo get the flagpole and are back at the beach. But meanwhile, Tari finds Lucinia just chilling at the island. They're doing something. So Tari and Theo are taken back to the real world, where Lux is about to shoot Masa. However, Lux has already been exposed. Yeah, he's getting canceled on Twitter. So, basically the news is already out that Lux is a bad guy. But during this all, we figure out that Lucinia didn't actually die, and parts of her subconsciousness were just put into different sources. Part of Lucinia's subconscious, Lucinia just went to a coma, so part of her subconscious is now in Tari, and another part of it is in the server, so that's why she was just chilling in Ultra Jump Mania, the glitched version. So now Masa is just holding Lux at gunpoint, and the rest of Team MD5 are just telling Masa to just stop doing it. And so he does. Except his Meta Runner arm is just glitching out. And so Lux is just accidentally shot in the face. Like seriously. And Masa is literally stunned, and he cannot believe what he had just done. He is literally just frozen still. He cannot even move. So Team MD5 just run away. However, they find Marco again, who helps the rest of Team MD5 make a runaway. And then the season ends. There's no more for me to cover. I mean, there is a season 3 coming out. However, I don't know whether or not I'm going to actually be covering that. The season is just over, so yeah. Alright, so after this 4-part series about Meta Runner, well, what do I have to say about it? Well, it's really good. Yeah, it's probably the best thing that SMG4 has ever made, actually. I found it pretty interesting, and the animation was awesome. It was great in Season 1, even despite the clipping. And in Season 2, they had improved it even better. And all around, it was just a great show overall. So So, you might be saying 10 out of 10 is the greatest I can bestow on something, so obviously this is what it's getting. However, there is a really rare rating that I have yet to give something, but here we go. Meta Runner gets a 20 out of 10. Yep, we're just going above the 10. So that isn't the highest rating. That goes to some other things. But don't do drugs and stay in school. And the final episode of this SMG4 sub-series is coming. Once again, don't do drugs and stay in school.